Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of the semifinals between Rawr, Rampage, and Shadow Keepers here. We had a very exciting, loaded Game 1 here, so definitely excited to see more for Game 2. I'm Random Minion Caster, and casting alongside me for Game 2 here is special guest from C2, Spenlo. How are you doing, Spenlo?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. How have you been today?
Excellent and very, very good, especially having watched the game for Game 1 here. Lots of action going on. So picks and bans have been completed here. Shadowkeeper is going to be on the blue side again this game. They had side selection and they chose to remain on the blue side. So they're going to ban out the Alawi, Misfortune, and Cho'Gath here, opting to lose one ban in the first and second rounds respectively here. Rampage going to ban out Yasuo, Vi, Maokai, Nasus, and Gangplank. So pretty much the same bans as last time. This time banning the Maokai. They don't want Rings to have it after Daddy had such a good game on it last game. Shadowkeeper is going to go with Echo, Thresh, and that's going to be a Kog'Maw pick there. They had a bit of technical difficulties, didn't quite manage to lock it in. So Echo, Thresh, Kog'Maw, Renekton, and Poppy for the side of Shadowkeepers. For the side of Rampage, they're going to go with the Rumble, which they had so much success on last game. Jarvan, Lulu again, Ezreal, and Urgot this game. So looking at the picks and bans here, Spenlo, what are your thoughts?
I honestly really do like the SK's draft. Especially they're drafting pretty much a protect the Kog'Maw comp with the Thresh and Poppy and Renekton to kind of dissuade anyone from diving into them. If like even that Jarvan or that Urgot can get in, Poppy can just ult away, Renekton can stun, and Thresh can kind of peel him back with Box Flay. So I'm kind of excited to see if they actually go that route with it. Other than that, I mean, Rawr has a really good comp as well with the Jarvan Rumble combination with the ultis, and with the Jarvan Urgot where he can kind of pin them into the zone, kind of giving him pretty easy fish in a barrel type shot with his ultimate.
Yeah, definitely having the Jarvan there to provide the terrain. They won't need to focus too much on choke points. They can make their own here. And Rampage, I really like, Rampage's composition here. I think it's well thought out and quite unlike their usual win lane, win game style compositions they prefer to run. On the side of Shadowkeepers, last game, Game 1, they went for comfort picks. Very sort of strong laning, but not very cohesive in team fights. This game definitely looking like they're more cohesive here, like you said, a protect the Kog'Maw composition with a Renekton and Poppy. So I assume one of those is going. So do you think that's going to be Echo mid lane for Alpels like they did last game, or are they going to send that into the jungle because they have a Poppy and Renekton? We have seen Poppy jungle in Coalition League before as well. So who do you think is going where there?
I honestly don't see why they would give Echo to anyone else but Alpaz because he really just pops off on it usually when he plays it. I would really, if that's actually the case, then I would rather see Renekton top and Poppy in the jungle, just because Poppy has a better clear and is able to kind of roam and gank a little bit better than Renekton would be able to.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll have to see how that works out. We have loaded into Summoners for both teams, and we'll be able to see. So it looks like it's going to be a Renekton in the jungle for TikTok famous. I mean, he's mainly a Vi Lee Sin player. His Lee Sin had well, mixed results, shall we say, in Game 1 here, and his Vi was banned out. So I guess he's now going on to an unorthodox Renekton. Spenlaw, I'm a little surprised and kind of happy to see this unorthodox pick.
I mean, I'm a little surprised too, but I will say, especially because he likes to play those styles of like all-in champions in the jungle, Renekton's gonna fit his playstyle pretty well, and especially even though they've got the Lulu and the Urgot who can give themselves shields and their team shields, Renekton can just eat through those shields pretty easily. He actually, I believe, he has an ability that destroys shields entirely now.
Yeah, so that would definitely be a possibly very good choice for themselves here. Good counter to both the J4 shield. Actually, everybody's got shields except for the Ezreal there, so will definitely be very, very good. And it looks like both teams gonna go with a 5-point start. Neither team really want to get too aggressive early here. It's a bit risky in the semis to throw, and Shadowkeeper's already down a game here, so drastic changes. We'll have to see how this works out. The junglers look like both are going to be starting at their respective red buffs here. Renekton not going to need the blue buff to start. It looks like we get a lane swap. Deity showing up in the mid lane to Finny's going to the top lane here.
Yeah, I think honestly, if that Urgot goes top lane, Poppy can really punish him if he ever tries to go and dive on with a steadfast presence. It's gonna make it so that if he tries to dive in on that Poppy, it's just gonna bounce him right back and kind of dissuade that. So I think it's a really good switch, and it puts it into a melee versus melee matchup on both sides. So
Yeah, and Finney has already shown how strong he is in these sort of melee matchups on that Rumble. Did manage to win his lane quite handily against Alpal's last game, so hopefully we'll be able to do the same here. And for Deity, we haven't seen his Urgot go against the Echo before, so it should be interesting to see how that one turns out here. Now bot lane got a bit of action. Death Sentence coming out, will miss onto Ruptor there. So we'll have to back out, and it does look like Ari, Luge, and Ruptor have managed to get themselves a early level 2 advantage.
yeah, and that's kind of, you don't want to see that if you're the Thresh. Them getting that early level 2 means that they kind of have to concede a little bit of that pressure in the lane. Especially if he can't set up a hook with a flay, there's about nothing he can really do.
TikTok Fame is going to gank that mid lane. He likes the captain so much, trying to get Alpals ahead. It will be a gank, but we won't be able to get the kill. Lots of damage coming around, but good play from Daddy, turning it around. Alpal is going to be the loser in that trade, in the 2v2, and we do see Prove Him Wrong now coming up to the mid lane as well. Both junglers want to be there, but it has to be careful. TikTok in the bush, and they're going to have 2 separate fights going on, but Prove Him Wrong gets the flag and drag, gets onto Alpals. Will get first blood there. Is very low, but it's going to be Daddy burning down from the ignite that Alpals managed to put down before he died. And TikTok Famous managing to turn it on. The greed from Prove Him Wrong. He turned around, but he was low. TikTok Famous going to flash and stun and slice and dice him into little pieces. 2 for 1 in favor of Shadow Keepers.
And that honestly to me looked a little sketchy at first, especially with that drive and kind of face checking into the Renekton. The Renekton was able to get a little bit of free harass off pretty early into that fight. I was going to make the point that Urgot did not have to build flash during that first kind of gank, but as I was going to say, it looks like when they did the repeat there, he just blew it immediately. So
Bot lane's got a bit of action here. Ruptor putting a lot of damage down. Will be able to take non-stop brain down despite getting death sentence. They're going to trade 1 for 1, and TikTok Fame is going to be the recipient of that kill in the bot lane. So he's going to be 2-0-1 there. Ari Lude's going to continue staying in that lane, poking out Ezreal fairly safe. Should be able to 1v2 even against the jungler pressure in that bot lane.
yeah, he just has to be careful of the double dive that the Renekton has, especially if he gets it off on minions. But Ezreal's a pretty safe laner, so one way or another, he should be able to get out of there. Especially, I believe he's level 3 right now, so he would definitely have any escape option.
And TikTok Famous once again hovering that mid lane. Deity and Alpal is just going at it right now. Deity getting the winning trade here. The Echo Stun coming down. We'll be able to catch Deity there, and then the slice and dice to follow up the CC chain is good. That's an easy convert onto Deity there. This time going over to the side of Alpal. Shadow Keepers getting an early game lead here in terms of kills, even though they're still even in gold.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's kind of what you want Renekton to do. He's really good. He's got that surprise gank potential, and his level 6 really doesn't give him any more except for survivability in ganks. So if he can get a lot of ganks off early and get his laners ahead, once he kind of falls off, he's actually going to still be pretty even because he's given that power to his teammates.
Yeah, and he will need to be that force in the lanes for his team here. All the lanes right now losing across the board. 26 to 35 in that top lane. Finney getting himself a bit of a lead and control in that lane. Doesn't have to worry about any resource there in the mid lane. Deity really far up. He's 0-2-1 compared to 2-1-1 of Alpel, so he's up about 20-something CS. And bot lane, Prove Him Wrong, forcing the flash out of non-stop brain there. Non-stop brain will remain safe, but good gank from Prove Him Wrong will make sure that the flash is down for the support. And speaking of the supports in that bot lane, Ari Lude's also up about 9 CS, about a wave and a half here for herself. So every lane here winning for Rampage.
And I mean, this is kind of like you would expect it to be kind of different just because of the way that the kills and the jungle pressure has been going, but all of their laners have just been able to kind of handle themselves and just kind of make the best out of the situation.
And now top end, you see the gank come down. A great equalizer will equalize that gank. Will be able to take Rinks down before Rinks can get any real damage down. Finney will go down, but he was not going to be able to get out of that gank anyways. And TikTok once again picking up the kill. He's now 3-0 and 200% kill participation in this early game. Prove Him Wrong looking for the counter gank in the bot lane, seeing what he can do. He did step out, and it looks like he might be going to actually force this gank here. He gets the flag and drag onto Louisville. Louisville low, a flash to keep Prove Him Wrong alive here. Takes a turret shot, but it won't be enough to take him down. And now Non-Stop Brain left alone under his turret here. Prove Him Wrong with a very aggressive force gank.
Oh my gosh, and I mean, being that low, especially on Akagma, you really don't have any escapes other than the Thresh hook, or Thresh Lantern, I mean, and that's still situational, and you being able to interact with that Lantern. I think honestly, the safer call would have been just to back and come back. Just a little bit of a discrepancy in CS. I mean, you're already down, so might as well.
Alphal's roaming down to the bot lane here. Did manage to force the flash out of Ari Lutz. The heal coming out, but he's polymorphed. He's super low, and the last second chrono break will keep him alive there. Rookter aggressively going on to him there. Doesn't care at all. Will have to back out though, as Alpal has his cooldowns refreshed. So Alpal's living by the skin of his teeth in that bot lane there. Top lane, Finny not going to be as lucky here. His flash is down, his equalizer is down, and Rings and TikTok going to be able to hunt him down.
And I mean, that really sets up, because you just know that Jarvan was bot side. You could start going ahead and getting some priority vision up in that top lane in the red side jungle up there, and then start focusing on going for Rift after getting Dragon.
Yeah, TikTok definitely making good use of that knowledge of seeing Prove Him Wrong down there, and his bot lane too able to survive a bit better. In Louisville, though, as you said, very immobile on that Cosmo. Has to be careful. Non-Stop Brain just back right now in a 1v1. Ari Lutz has the level advantage though, out of mana. And we do see the pings coming down for Dragon from the side of Rawr Rampage. It's about 8 minutes. Nobody's really been looking at the objectives as of yet, which is a little slow for a lot of the playoff games here, but we do see attention now being set that way. Prove Him Wrong setting up the vision, is looking for a gank in the mid lane here. The flip is good. They get the flip onto Alpals. Alpals going to try and get out. He doesn't have his chrono break available, but the stun will stop Deity. The harpoon misses, and Alpals will be able to survive now. It's TikTok's turn. He's got Non-Stop Brain with him. That is going to be a 3-man gank, but Death Sentence misses, and Deity will also survive. And now it's going to be pressure onto Dragon from both teams.
And a lot of these hooks are just missing by hairline fractions. Like, if it was just a little bit one way or the other, I think he'd have gotten a lot of these hooks already in lane. And I mean, if I want to put attention really quickly to the jungle difference right now, you've got I'm TikTok Famous level 7 to Prove Him Wrong's level 5, and about 1,000 gold ahead. If they even go for this Dragon right now on the side of Rawr, I believe like SK's got such a higher chance of getting this right now. It'd be easier for them to get that 50-50.
Yeah, and then instead of going for that Dragon, they prefer to get kills. We see a beautiful lantern to bring TikTok Famous all the way from the back into the lane, and they will be able to kill Ari Lutz. And that's a very slippery Ezreal being taken down by TikTok Famous. The damage is good in terms of what he can do there, and with that they do secure the advantage in the bot lane. They're all healthy, but they're opting not to go for the Dragon again. Looks like they're still focused on trying to get kills.
I mean, Ezreal's a really slippery champion, but if you can layer CC like they've been doing down in that lane, especially with I'm TikTok Famous, I mean, there's no way that Ezreal can actually escape.
Yeah, and definitely we did see Ezreal unable to escape there. Oh, both summoners were blown in the previous fight, and now Prove Him Wrong looking at that Dragon, but he's kind of on his own right now. Ari Lutz and Rookter finding back in lane. Rookter having to flash out to safety there, but will remain safe, and a beautiful flag and drag will catch both. Cataclysm comes down, but Louisville manages to flash out before it even hits. Will remain safe. Non-Stop Brain, however, gonna be the sacrifice there. Gonna hold his flash. Knew he couldn't get out, and that will give a numbers advantage to the side of Rampage, and it looks like Prove Him Wrong is going to start this Dragon up here. So potentially first Drake of the game gonna head over to Rampage, and it's gonna be Mountain Drake.
I mean, mid lane's got priority too, so there's not much that they can really do on the side of Shadowkeepers. I think honestly, Renekton needs to get like that gank that he looks like he's kind of looking for up on the top lane off, or he needs to go and try to get that Rift Herald as a trade-off, honestly.
Yeah, and they did manage to force Finny out of lane in that top lane there. Both top laners don't have teleport available, so Dragon was definitely going to be an isolator. Fair and safe. We see Deity roaming up to that top lane now. Misses the flip. He's looking for the damage. Can he get the harpoon? No, he did not get the harpoon in that fight either, so Rig's just going to be able to walk away to safety here. TikTok Famous hiding in the wings there, but Rings is not available, so this will be a 1v1. Is going to go in for that. Deity has the shield, just going to flash himself, hop himself out to safety there. will remain safe. And that, as you said, leaves Herald still on the table there, but looks like neither team really going to look for that yet.
No, it looks like neither team are going to look for it. And it looks like Finny's heading mid now. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent trade, or if that Urgot feels comfortable enough to go against the Poppy now. But that's kind of an interesting call on me.
Yeah, and Finny has to be careful. He is getting collapsed on here by TikTok Famous. The Slice and Dice not gonna come out. They will abandon the engage, but Finny overstepping a little bit there. He didn't want to have to go out that far. Will get sent up. The damage is good. The Ignite comes down, but will they be able to finish it? No, they will not. Scrapshield gonna keep Finny just safe enough, but he is extremely low. His teleport coming up really shortly, and gonna prove him wrong now. Being hunted down by Alpels. He's really squishy. He is down levels as well. Will have to remain safe, and we do see TikTok Famous gonna dive that turret. Use the Fury of the Sands. He's going for Vinny here. He's going to tank up turret shots. Alpel's taking more, and the Cataclysm is good. Will lock TikTok under a turret, and TikTok going to go down. Now Equalizer coming for Alpels. They're going to see if they can pick it up, but the slow will keep him alive for now until he runs into Deity, and Deity will just pick up the kill onto him there. So that's a solid kill for Deity, as well as a bounty. 500 gold going over to Proven Wrong.
I mean, you give an inch and they're going to take a mile entirely. The Renekton just kind of overextends and gets dives under 2 turrets as for greed for that for Rumble, and I think like that was just a really bad overextension. I think he got really cocky and really expected to be able to output the damage beforehand.
Yeah, and as you said, TikTok Famous, the ultimate will give him some tankiness, but other than his built tankiness of the ultimate, right now TikTok no real tank items there. He's got the Ninja Tab, he's got the Stalker's Blade, and it looks like he might be building into a Blade of the Ruined King potentially there. So going straight damage Renekton means that when he dives the turret, he needs to finish the target fast. He can't afford to get caught that way between turrets, and with that, Rampage actually pulls the kill score even now, 7-7. They've got a dragon advantage, and they also have the gold advantage just from superior laning, about 1,000 gold up right now, and they did manage to pick up the Herald while all that was going on. It's going to be on Finny in that mid lane there on the Rumble, so potentially might be able to get first turret as well for themselves. But a beautiful flash lantern will get TikTok Famous deep into the bot lane. Rookter now going to be the target there. He's all on his own. Is not going to survive. He's going to turn around, try and trade as much damage as he can. Won't be able to get anything, but that's at least Ari Luke still gone out to the ADC, managing to survive them. We do see Herald being dropped into that bot lane by Finny. The plates have gone down, so he won't be getting any gold for that. We'll just get the turret damage. Now Pels going in will not land the stun, and Finny will just walk up the side.
I mean, in theory, that's actually really good for Rawr. I mean, they really want to start getting more gold towards them. I mean, it's a pretty even game with a 400 gold discrepancy right now. But if they were able to get that first turret, I think it really would have pushed it to even, and I think it would have given them a little bit more momentum, especially unlocking that mid lane.
Speaking of the mid lane here, Alpels and Finny going at it. We saw this matchup last game. Finny also on the Rumble, Alpels also on the Echo, but this game looks like Alpels having a much better time of it here, able to trade more effectively and seems to be winning these trades here. Finny has to be careful. He does have the Equalizer available if he wants to fight this, but I'm not sure he does. TikTok Famous going to show up from the side. Will just walk right back out there. Didn't quite have the position for a gank. And the Dragon is coming up in about 45 seconds here. Ocean Drake going to be second Drake of the game. So potentially just looking to get pressure here onto the lanes. Deity in the top lane, going to dive into turret, get stunned up against the wall, taking a lot of abuse there considering that he was winning the lane so handily. We'll have to be careful. And we see Proven Wrong now in the mid lane. The junglers just seem to be walking through that mid lane, not even really trying to gank properly.
No, I mean, they're showing off and trying to kind of give enough pressure to where the mid laners have to respect each other, and the fact that it's going to be a constant 2v2, which in all honesty is a kind of a weird scenario when you're in mid lane. That's supposed to be exclusively a solo lane, just like top lane, but the way this game's been going, it's been anything
a beautiful engagement from Alpels. He gets the stun, just the tip. The Ignite comes on, the burst is enough to take Finny down. For all the attention the jungler spent in the mid lane, it ultimately was, as you said, a solo lane, and Alpels making sure everybody knows that. He goes in solo, picks up the kill, and now has dominance and control over that mid lane, allowing his team to get Dragon priority.
Oh yeah, and I mean, on the side of Rawr Rampage, there's nothing you give up this dragon. I mean, it's only the second dragon of the game. You really don't even know what soul is at this point. You'd rather give up that Ocean Drake in regards, because you're thinking it's either going to be an Infernal or Cloud, and you really don't want the other team to get all four of one type.
Yeah, and not to mention the Cloud stacking or Inferno stacking. Both have been good. Daddy sending out the Harpoon, trying to get the execute. Won't miss it again, and I believe that's the third Harpoon he's missed this game. So very, very unfortunate for Deity there, but he's so far not really needed it to get his leads. He is still up CS onto Rings and onto Alpels, regardless who he's facing. Still seems to be controlling the lane, but we do see Finny showing up into that top lane there. It looks like they're going to call for another lane swap.
And I mean, I get it. Especially Finny, he's not really itemized right now to deal with Echo and hit all the AP damage he has. I mean, he's got a lot of armor, so there's not much he can really do. He's gonna die and pop to the Echo, especially because he's got that proto belt finished and ready to go.
Yeah, the Seeker's Arm Guard not going to benefit him there, but will be helpful against Poppy. Poppy doing a mix of physical and magic damage a little bit, but mostly physical, so will be able to lane a little better there on the other side. We do see Deity has not built any magic resist either. Went with the Ninja Tabbies and the Black Cleaver, but he is up. He is still up in terms of strength here, so will be able to lane fairly decently. We do see TikTok in the mid lane again. It's really questionable who's the mid laner here. Alpels and TikTok both spending what looks like almost equal time in that lane. Bot lane, the play coming down onto Ari Lutz. Death Sentence will not connect, so Ari Lutz will be able to just Mystic dodge away there, and instead it's going to be proven wrong now deep in the enemy jungle. He was invading, but now he's sort of isolated. He's been spotted up by Non-Stop Brain. Stun trying to come down, but a good flag and drag will get himself potentially to safety. No, the Death Sentence comes down. The Cataclysm, however, locks everybody up instead, and a beautiful barrage from Ezreal will be able to pick up the kill, at least there onto Non-Stop Brain. And TikTok Famous getting melted as he showed up because the Equalizer coming down from Finny there doing absolute work. They're going to trade 3 for 1 in the bot lane. That Cataclysm Equalizer combo doing work.
Oh my gosh. I mean, on the side of Rawr Rampage, you're really thinking, okay, this is 100% worth. We sacrificed 1 for 3, 1 in the mid lane and 2 in the bot lane. I mean, you got both of their bot lane completely out of that lane at the moment. That pretty much unlocks it to be able to even do a lot of damage to this turret. I don't think they can take it down on this push, just because of the wave clear Echo kind of has with his Q, but I think that they're going to get a nice bit of chunk of damage down.
Definitely, and they did manage to pick up the first start of the game in the mid lane there. Deity left unattended, they managed to pick that up. And Rings is going to bounce that out as soon as possible, taking down the top lane turret. So that's a 1 for 1 trade in terms of turret, but first brick will go over the way of Rawr Rampage, and that will give them a total of a 1k gold lead right now. Very, very even. 10 kills apiece, a turret apiece, a dragon apiece here for both teams.
And I want to point this out right now. Rawr Rampage has kind of done a really good job of kind of trying to slow the momentum of the game down and making sure that the Renekton's not getting too much more out of hand. I mean, he really hasn't gotten many kills since the last one he got.
Deity's managed to land, will be able to pick up Rings in the top lane there. Proven wrong, and Deity diving that top lane turret. Deity tanking the turret, but able to get the damage out. Now TikTok Famous has arrived, but he's really squishy. Still doesn't have tank items yet. Will not even be able to get the Fury of the Sands down. The CC is good. He went in and he was just locked down for like 3 seconds straight there while they got the dive off. So they will pick up 2 in the top lane as well as that outer turret. Now it's a reversal as Alpels takes the mid lane turret there. So they trade top for mid here. Both teams have their top and mid turrets down right now, but looks like Rampage is going to keep pushing in that top lane. They will be able to get this inner turret. It looks like the damage from Deity and Rookter and Prove Him Wrong are good. Alpels looking to potentially get them here, but I don't know if he wants this. We've seen what happens in a 2v1, and Deity is really, really fed right now. 500 gold bounty on him, and the 3 of them will be able to walk out the save.
I mean, that 2 for 1 trade, you'll take that into the week, especially when it comes to turrets. Getting that inner and outer turret for just your tier 1 in the mid lane, I think that's 100% worth. That's going to make that such a long lane up top side that really, if Finny wanted to go back up there, he could easily just last hit in CS for a very long time up there.
Yeah, definitely, and as we had said before, he did itemize go against Poppy, so would be very, very safe in that top wave. They send Alpels there, they do have the teleport advantage. Finny and Deity both running the teleport this game. We're on the side of Shadowkeepers. Rings running teleport, but Alpels took the combat summoner of Ignite for lane dominance. And now we do see Dragon going to be the attention here. This is going to be the first of the Soul Cloud Drakes here. So both teams definitely want that 10% cooldown reduction. TikTok Famous, he's in there alone right now, out of position. The Mystic Barrage comes across, will not pick anybody off. Alpal's diving in, has to back out immediately, and now it's TikTok Famous getting hit up. His Fury of the Sands will keep him alive while the Cataclysm comes down. The Equalizer is good. They get Cogmaw, they get Thresh, and now the fight is heavily Rawr Rampage sided, but Alpal's managed to re-engage. They do get Rookter. Rookter's out of the fight, and now it's Rinks trying to survive, but he is tanky. He's good for now, and a beautiful re-engage yet again from Alpal's. Will pick Finny out, but this time he will not get out alive, and it's Ari Lute doing the damage. He gets the triple kill, gets Rinks, gets Alpal's, gets TikTok Famous, and they will get themselves the dragon here. Ari Lute's positioning, skirting the edges of the fight. They're absolutely beautiful.
I mean, that's just a beautiful positioning from Ari Ludes, and the fact that he's outputting so much damage right now, but he still hasn't finished that tier item yet. It's not even fully stacked. He's putting out so much damage just with that Sheen in tier 1 alone.
Yeah, and she just managed to cut, like, nobody could quite get on her. That's the slippery Ezreal we had spoken about before, and you said that if they can land the CC layer well, then yes, you can kill an Ezreal, but in a fight like that, they couldn't really send anybody onto the Ezreal to get the CC down, to get the chain going. And it looks like Ari Lute might even get the bot turret here, potentially. It's extremely low. Rookter is coming to back her up now. And interestingly enough to note, Rookter not going the Dark Seal that we saw last game here. Opting to go for a more traditional build, support-based build here. So it looks like Ari Lute will not be able to get the turret on this push, but we'll have Rookter backing up. Might be getting it sometime in the near future.
Yeah, with that blue buff on Ezreal, she's able to just throw out mystic shots left and right like it's no one's business. Not even losing much mana, if any at all, in regards to it, and getting that additional CDR for especially the ultimate that was just thrown wildly just to clear the wave earlier.
Top lane, TikTok Famous is going to go in on Vinny here in the 1v1, but prove him wrong, living up to his name, making a 2v1. Trying to prove me wrong. It doesn't matter though. Rinks shows up. They will be able to convert the kill onto Finny there. And TikTok Famous, his damage, he's completed the Blade of the Ruin King there. Absolutely massive. Can 1v1 a lot of people on the map right now. Finny not safe in that long range from top lane.
No, especially because they've got tank stats. That Blade of the Ruin King is going to do, I believe it's 12% max health damage.
The big fight starting to break out in the bot lane. Sarudarity getting caught out here, but the wild growth will keep him alive. Instead, Rookter going to get hit by the death sentence now. Can he get out? Looks like he will be able to disengage, but the rest of the fight has moved upwards. Darity getting a lot of damage as Alpals comes in from the side, but Alpals gets taken down by Ari Lute. He tries to get onto Ari, but it doesn't matter. And Ari's putting out damage. They do finally take her down, but at what cost? That's a triple kill going over to Ari. Rinks, TikTok, and Alpals once again giving yet another triple kill over, and the fight's not over yet as Proven Wrong has arrived. The Cataclysm goes down. Louisville full flash to safety, but Finny is off on the side, spitting them flames, and will be able to pick out Louisville and non-stop rain as well. Though the kill credit for Louisville going to go over to Proven Wrong, and that's an ace for the side of Rampage. Rookter somehow survived after getting death sentence is back in. They will be able to get this bot lane inner turret as well. So good fight to Rampage.
And I mean, they had such an explosive early game over on the side of Shadowkeepers that you would have thought that a lot of these team fights, especially at this point in the game, would be going really their way. But the Kog'Maw, just after that death, finally got his Rage Blade. He's not able to put out as much damage up until right now. So right now is really going to be their chance to kind of fish their way back in with a 5k deficit right now. It's going to start to get harder and harder for them to get back into this game.
We definitely have to be careful, and that Ezreal as well has completed the mana immune for himself, the mirror mana as well, so will be putting out even more damage. Has the Blade of the Ruin King, the blue build coming online, the Iceborne gauntlets, and we'll have to see here TikTok potentially getting caught out, but the rest of his team is there. Rinks is there to back him up. Rookter going to be the one burst down immediately, but the Harpoon is good. Will take down TikTok, and now Rinks is left alone in the midst of the enemy team. Will get taken down by Daddy. That's a double kill. Alpal's running in, but has the Chrono Shift right back out. Did not want to be in there, and that could potentially be Baron over to Rampage here. We had said that Cog was just coming online, but he needs to be there to put that damage out, and not to mention just the sheer skirmish ability of side of Rampage here. They have the Equalizer Cataclysm combo, the online Ezreal now, and it looks like they will be able to take the Baron here. There's no vision for the side of Shadow Keepers, and they didn't want to do that. They didn't have enough people to stop it, so that will be Baron over to Rampage, and we've seen what they can do with Baron. We should be looking for a really strong push here.
And I mean, on the side of Shadow Keepers, like, there's no way, and there's no world in which you actually really can get in there and steal it. You can effectively try to do what it looks like Alpaz is doing right now and try to pick a couple members off in order to get that Baron buff off of a few members. But the only thing that they really could have done right during then was to just push out the side lanes and then hope that they can kind of turtle in enough time to kind of stave off some of the bleeding, especially from that Baron buff.
TikTok was the first one to go down there, so they didn't have their jungler smite available for that, but looks like both teams now looking at that Drake, the Clout Drake here. It will not be Soul Drake for either team, but it's still a 10% cooldown reduction. Rookter getting hit by the Death Sentence, but non-stop raid not going to follow in. It's kind of risky. It seems not have been able to follow up, but Alpels can, and he chrono shifts back out. Now Rookter taking more damage from the Dragon, might be taken down, but the shields will keep him alive. Deity, one man zoning out the entire team on the side, the choke point there, while the rest of his team is doing the Cloud Drake, and they will be able to take this Drake really quickly. They have the damage. It's going to be Cloud Drake over to the side of Rampage.
Yeah, and I think, barring anything really crazy from happening, I think this is pretty much the beginning of the end. I mean, Rawr is such a commanding lead right now. The fact that the Ezreal has 3 items and Kog'Maw only has the 2 plus boots means that Ezreal's just going to be pumping out so much more damage.
Indeed, and Daddy jumps in, gets the flip. That's going to be 3 kills already. The Equalizer doing work. The Cataclysm holding them in place, and now Louisville, the only one left alive. He's running for his life, but how far can he run? To the doors of his base as he gets shut down. That's going to be a clean ace for the side of Rampage. Triple kill for Deity. Deity and Arilud's doing work this game. They've got the inhibitor turret down. They're getting the inhibitor, and now it's going to be the Nexus in their eyes. 15 seconds before non-stop rain comes up. Another 18 before TikTok famous. Will they be able to come out? It doesn't look like it. The first Nexus turret is down. The second Nexus turret soon to follow. Deity just tanking this up. The shields from Rookter keeping him nice and topped up here. And the Nexus now going down before anyone can spawn. 28-25 going to be the final time for this game here. Congratulations to Rawr Rampage.
Oh, and I kind of feel dirty saying that. Right as I said it, they just kind of pulled the trigger and ended it right there. There was nothing really that Shadowkeeper could have done there right at the end. Like, none of their carries really had the damage or items in order to really respond to that threat.
Yeah, as you had said, Kog'Maw did manage to get his Rage Blade early, so that's 2 completed items. But when you look over to the side of Arilud, she had 3. There was the already completed Mirror Mana, there was the Frost Iceborne Gauntlets, and the Blade of the Rune Kings already. So definitely a huge advantage there. Rumble already online with the Liandry's Torment and the Cataclysm we saw under their own turret, getting absolutely melted there. So, you know, in game 1, we had said Shadow Keepers needed a more cohesive composition. They were going for lane and ended up losing in the mid game. Now, game 2, we see a better composition from them, but it still didn't work. So, heading to game 3, their backs are going to be against the wall. It's 2-0 Rawr Rampage right now. What would you say, Spenlo, the Shadow Keepers need to do to try and turn the tides in game 3?
I mean, they had the right call by going with more of a team cohesive comp, but the biggest issue, in my opinion, was the fact that while their jungler was getting a lot of the kills and getting all that pressure for top and mid, what you really wanted to do, especially with the Kog'Maw, is you want to get him online in that bot lane, and they really didn't have a chance or even the ability, it looked like, to even get down there to get him online. And because of that, because a lot of your damage on that team is going to be coming from the Kog'Maw, if you can't get him online, there's nothing you can do at that point.
Definitely true. So looking forward to the game 3. Shadowkeeper is going to have to look to try and get another lane ahead. Alpel's doing decently well for himself in this game, but it looks like Alpel's alone will be insufficient to carry. So maybe either change up that mid pick or look somewhere else. The Renekton did have an amazing early game, but ended up 7-7-6. So we'll have to see what Shadowkeepers can do here to try and change things up. And with that, we will be heading to a short intermission break while both teams take a quick break to reset for game 3 here, and we'll see you guys in a couple.